Hello everybody, this is Jodo's Free Time here, and today in this video we're going to be showing you a really cool tool. So come on, get a snack or something and jump on board with me. Now this is the device itself. Now I recently got this from Home Bargains. It's a Phillips lantern thing. Has a little light on the top, and it has one of these solar panels. Now you may have seen this actually on Instagram for about maybe 30 seconds, but I thought I'd show you in depth exactly what this is and what it does, although I won't be able to show you much because the batteries are completely flat. No thanks to Philips, the company that actually didn't provide a charge for it. This has a little light on the top, and apparently it's got like a 20 to 60 lumen light on it, although it nearly blinded me when I accidentally pressed it and actually flashed in my face, but there you go. And this is the solar panel that comes with it. Now the idea of this is during the day, oh, you can see a reflection of it. During the day, yeah, you can put it in sunlight, and then this indicates 3 bars. Now there is a designer flaw with it, and that is when I hold it up to light, you can actually see it charging from my lighting up here. So yeah, that is a bit of a weakness for it, but at least you know it works. Anyway, yeah, so this is what it looks like. It's pretty damn cool, and the idea of it is that you would charge it during the day, get sunlight, and then what you would do is you would charge your phone, or maybe a power bank, maybe not a 21,000 one, because it will probably flatten it in no time. But if you can find a smaller power bank for this, then go for it. I think it's an 18,000 milliamp battery in this, which is probably enough to charge maybe your phone about 4 times, depending on what phone it is. And right here is the solar panel, obviously, and it has screw holes on it right there, and you can like screw it onto the sides of buildings and stuff and get some light through it. And the cable that they provide you is very, very long, actually, about 4 meters. Don't mark me onto that, but yeah, there's a USB port for your phone devices, and the idea is you can hold onto the button and it actually turns on the lantern, and you can also use it for a light for work or whatever, which is pretty good. But I won't be using that feature. I will be using the USB and the USB only, and see how I get on with this. I mean, I am going to order a solar panel that I can plug into USB, but I thought this will look pretty good, because that would mean that I can charge up power banks at least halfway through without the need for sunlight or something. But eventually I'm going to get a GoPro, not GoPro, sorry, Gold Zero. I'm saying that for, but anyway, I'm going to be getting that instead soon, because that'll be much better. It's a bigger generator thing, and it works through bigger solar panels than this. But this is just for now until I can find something a little bit better. But yeah, this will be a pretty good device for when you're in the dark with a power cut. So pretty awesome. And it also came with these cables, even though some guy said it wasn't provided, but it is. So there you go, a little demonstration of this Phillips Light thing. Apparently there's a project online about this, about them providing so-called free energy to people in, was it India or somewhere, I don't know. I'll put it on the screen if I remember, or see something on a video and I'll put it in there. But yeah, the idea of it was that they hung these upside down, connecting the wire obviously, and then it would obviously charge the battery during the day, and they had like free power or something like that, and very good for the poor countries. Also very good for survival. So if you ever want survival with your long power outage box, that would go in there nicely, because it would still charge your phones and stuff, and charge up the power banks at least halfway through each time. So yeah, or maybe it won't, or maybe it just charge it a little. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully charge it in the morning, and tell you what I feel in the morning. And this is not just the video now, just want to show you that I recently got it. I put it in a cloudy sky, sort of like a climate of light, and it did charge it, so fair dues. But it doesn't charge inside, so you know, good job this solar panel is actually waterproof, because I'm going to shove it straight outdoors, out the window. So yeah, and the cable is long enough to, you know, go across a room or something, at least halfway through the room. So we'll see how I get on in the morning with it. This is just a brief demonstration. I have it, and the idea I got this for was for when there's no power and I needed to charge my power banks through USB. Well, here you go, I can do that, and then I can charge it back up again during the day or something. But it would take a lot of progress, and I would rather use a solar panel connected to the USB, but we'll see how this goes. This is just survival, and who knows, might be a good little lantern for whenever the other lights die in the power outage box, when the batteries are completely dead and I can't get any more batteries or rechargeables. This will be a quick option or something, or a last option. So we'll see you in the morning. Right, that's the time right now. So yeah, I'm now charging this Phillips thing. The best thing is, because the wire is so thin, you can actually shut the window while it charges. And the best thing as well about this solar panel is it actually did charge while it's on the windowsill like that. So if I want to not open the window to save some heat, instead of opening the window, putting it in and then shutting the window and then making heat fly away, I can easily put it on the windowsill. So, you know, pretty damn good. So, but just for this demonstration, I'm going to put it outside like that. But it is a bit chilly today, so I'm going to close the window. Interesting. It's decided to shut off. Hang on, I need to fiddle with it. Hang on. Okay, maybe I wouldn't recommend closing the window when using the solar panel, because this will happen to it, where the wire completely breaks. And the problem with that is this piece of junk doesn't charge. Well, I shouldn't call it a piece of junk. It's not a problem with it. It's just the solar panels that they give you have really thin wiring, like speaker wire, but even thinner than that. So yeah, I don't think I would recommend this product, especially if it's raining outside and you want to close your window. So what would be the point of you know, putting it outside when you have windows? So what I might have to do later is get another one of these piece of junks just to, you know, give it a go again, but that's just pathetic. All I want really is the solar panel on this, the other one. I have to see if the other one's charged, because this one's not even charged right. So that sucks. I mean, one little wire came out and that was it. That was the end of it all. I mean, message to you, Phillips. I know you put it in the fucking manual to not, you know, tug or whatever with it and put it in the window like I did, but for fuck's sake, it's a solar panel. It's supposed to be outside. Make your wire stronger, not cheaply, thanks. You know. Just to think that you charge for this crap. But anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might replace it, I might not. I mean, I'm kind of put off now by getting another one of these, because if it's that easy to break, imagine what it's going to be like, you know, in the real world against rain. So, yeah, I'm not buying it. I mean, this solar panel is terrible in my opinion. It's the worst thing they gave you. Should have given you a bigger one so you'll charge it faster. Anyway, that's me ranting on enough about it. It's not a review or anything, it's just, I don't know. I might get another one just in a minute, but to be honest with you, it's not a very good little unit now I think about it, because if the wire breaks that easily on a solar panel that's supposed to be outside, then there's something wrong, and it won't take the rain very well if it had wires like that, if you know what I mean. You need something chunky and something good to take out that sort of weather anyway. Enough about me moaning. Let's see if I get another one. I might do, I might not. I mean, I haven't got much money left, so I'm not going to probably do it. So, you know, I might just have to repair that one, but I don't know how I'm going to repair it. It's fucked, in my opinion. About 1 sandwich and 2 drinks from Lidl or Aldi, whatever the fuck it was, and going to Home Bargains later. Here we have a new box. Oh, and not forget the £4. It's a good job these things are cheap, hey? Stop laughing, it's not true, because my life is that crap. Alright, let's get into this. Fuck's sake. Oh, am I kidding? This is not an unboxing channel. All I wanted was one little piece out of it. And again, look, all bent and broken. You know, the instructions, you know. Makes you wonder why they bother. You know, here it is, the newer lantern. I'm going to see if this lantern has any power in it, because the one that they gave me last time had no power in it, so we'll see. So now at least I've got 2 of them, and 2 of these cables. This is not even funny anymore. Right, okay, here's the solar panel. And get that box out. Here it is. So this is the piece I wanted the most. So let's get this out. And because it's the same connector as the old one, because it's the same model, it'll be easy to just plug it in and go. So it means now I've got 2 units now, so that's kind of good and kind of bad, I don't know. Anyway, before we unwrap the solar panel, let's see if this one has any power. Nope, absolutely fucking zero. So yeah, just like the original here, there's no power left in it. Oh, excuse me, that sandwich was filling. And the chips. I am a bit of a fat fuck, sorry. Alright, so let's get this open. There we go, the old wire is down there. So I better be careful with this one because it's, face it, they're fucking useless. These cables, they're like speaker wires, but even worse. So I've got 2 units now, and it's going to be really confusing to see which one's which, really. So I'm going to put this solar panel in the window. I'm going to check there's no problems with the wiring. Go for that. Right, let's open the window, put the solar panel aside, and open and close it pretty slowly. There we go. Now then, I've got the wire right here, so let's just check that we're getting power. I can't remember which one's which now. There we go. That one's charging. Let's see if the other one charges. Yep, that charges as well. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a while to charge from the lack of light outside. Let's face it, there's not a lot. It's a bit overcast. But tomorrow, hopefully, we'll see how this goes. I mean, it's, look, you can see it's failing really, really badly. And mostly because the sun outside is not that sunny. So hopefully it will be less overcast in a minute and we will get some nice light from outside. Tomorrow I will be testing this out in the sun and see if this charges any faster. It will do because of the sun, it's obvious really. There you go, I'm going to leave it to charge in the window and we'll see how it gets on. Just turn off all my lights here, just to show it is daylight still. Put you back on the tripod. So yeah, it's charging, it's doing the job, it's doing the deed, and the solar panel is right there in the sun, or lack of sun. So I'm going to conclude this video and end for tonight, and then I'll come back tomorrow, probably in the same place as where the tripod is. I don't know if I'm going to pack it away or not, but yeah, I'm going to be charging this up throughout the night time. And then we'll see in the morning with better sunshine if it's charged up or not. We'll see what the indication is when it's charged. As you can see, it's failing miserably because it's really overcast outside and it's going to rain, it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how I get on, and I'm going to charge them both up and see how long they last each, and I'll probably tell you after tomorrow video in the same clip what the power ratio is like for these things. So apparently they've got a beefy battery, and so if you've got like a smartphone, you've probably got to charge it for at least 2 or 3 times, maybe, same as a power bank maybe. But apparently it was 18,000 or it was 1,800, I can't remember. But it should be enough to give a tiny bit of a trickle charge to phones and stuff. For now anyway, so we'll see how it gets on. So as you can tell from the timer card, it is technically the next day. And the date is about the 28th now, so this project's been going on since the 26th, I believe. A couple of days now. And it's still charging. The thing is about this device is it's very confusing. 1 minute it had the 1 light and 2 indicator, the next minute it's doing the 3 traffic light symbol thing, which I'm going to clue why. This one doesn't, but this one does. It's really strange. But anyway, if it's charging, it's charging. I'll show you what I mean actually very quickly. So the 1, 2, 3 step, and with this one, it's the one with the 2 step. No idea why. The battery's dead in that one. Shouldn't have an indicator at all. But this one is doing the traffic light symbol. I haven't got a clue why. It's probably telling me that it's charging for real and not to disturb it, maybe. I don't know. But apparently this symbol, according to them, means that it's only charging from the solar panel about 0 to 30%, which makes no effing sense, because earlier on it said 1 and then the 2 bars. So I don't know, maybe this is just the true charging symbol. Very, very confusing, Phillips. Very, very confusing. Can't just simply do things. Anyway, the light on the top works because I tested it yesterday, and it's pretty bright, I have to say. I'm not going to turn it on for you now because this will disrupt the solar power charging. Anyway, the time right now is 8:10, and just let me prove that quickly. Right there. So at 8:10 in the morning. I literally got no sleep from the last footage, and as promised, the solar panel is outside. People going to work, it looks like, because, you know, of the loud cars. Anyway, started editing this video, and you know, been wondering how much of an idiot I could be with this, because in the first couple of clips I broke the wire when it actually said in the instructions not to, so that was my own fault, and I admit it now on camera that I was the idiot in the end. But I have tested the voltage on one of these test meters, and it registered 4.25, which is a little bit weak if you ask me. And when I charged a simple thing like a flip phone, it was really struggling. It kept turning on and off when it was charging. So I have a feeling that these are not very good. I mean, the lantern's probably better than the USB in it, because I can't seem to get the thing charging. I mean, I got a power bank to charge, but I only had it in for about, what, a couple of seconds, and it was just charging okay. Something simple like this refused to charge properly, so I'm charging it by the wall socket. But anyway, I thought I'd test it out and see if a simple mobile phone can charge. Well, it should do, because it's near the same size as the power bank you get from Poundland. There's like a couple of them. Hopefully it should be enough. And if having these two should, you know, fill up a whole power bank, hopefully. But unfortunately not. Also, there's another piece of information I misread. I thought it was 18,000. Apparently it's 1,000. So very, very late battery, considering the fact that the EC one I have in my power outage box, the long power outage box, is 22,000. It actually does a better job, and it's only a little bit wider. So yeah, be careful with these devices. If you think they're going to be very good for power cuts, maybe a little bit from my standards, but if it can't simply charge up a battery on a phone, then there's something really wrong with it. Or maybe it was just the fact that the solar panel was charging it and it was interfering. Or it could even be the fact that the battery needed to charge up fully to regain that 5 volt output so the phone can smoothly charge, because 1 bar was probably not enough for it. Who knows, and I don't really care. But as you can see, look, we are charging and it's doing the job. Now, it's overcast again and it's raining, which is a bit of a burden, because I was hoping it would be at least a bit of sun and a bit of cloud at least, but it wasn't, unfortunately. It's literally rain, and give it fair dues, it is charging, so I'll leave it out to charge in the rain. But yeah, it's annoying. As I was starting this video, you know, it's planned for rain, and I kind of knew this, and I was kind of an idiot buying this in the week of the biggest rain week in a century for me. So yeah, again being an idiot, but there you go. That's what happens. So many cars are going past. Anyway, I'm going to leave this to charge. I'm going to leave it all day, and I'll give you the final result at the end of the day, and tell you that you know, it's done the job and etc. And to tell you if there's any different indications coming on it, which is very odd, because you know, I thought this was supposed to be straightforward. You know, charging, and when it's full, it will flash with 3 lights, or just 3 lights will be indicated. Something like that, just like a power bank when it's finished. It's like got all the lights on. But no, it's not simple. It's just really complicated. The instruction manual is definitely not clear in my opinion, and Philips, you are terrible people for making instructions so freaking complicated. It's not even in like colour, so you can't like tell what's in the instructions. Like for example, is it flashing all blue? Is it flashing in like this order? What? I don't understand. So they say if it's flashing 3, it's supposed to be a certain. Actually, let me get a manual quick. So here I have the manual, and it says here, you know, yada yada yada. Put it in shade. Then it's charging with solar panel, 95 to 100%. It should be all 3 lights. Then it's charging in the freeway. This one says when it's 2 lights and 1, that means it's up to 70 to 95%, and it said 80, sorry. And the 1 light with the 2 indications mean 30 to 70%, but it didn't have anything in it, so how the hell did it assume that? And then it's got the 3 flashing there, saying that that's when it's 0 to 30%. So, but it doesn't say anything about the traffic light symbol where it's going like duh, 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 duh. So it doesn't say anything. Actually, it's a one-way traffic. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Really strange. Unless that means that the lantern's detected that the solar panel is charging at a very low voltage because of the overcast we're having. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But they never mention it in the book. They don't say that, you know, there's solar panel indicators on the lantern. So it's very confusing at this moment in time. You can see why I'm really pissed off and confused at the moment here, because I don't know what's going on, and it's saying there's 1 bar on it when it's on the power bank. So at least we know when it's on 1, when it's on the power bank mode, where it's on USB, it actually means that there's 1 bar left. But when it's doing this, who the fuck knows what percentage it's on. It doesn't tell you specifically. What I would like with these sort of things is an actual percentage thing on the screen to tell us how far it's up to, instead of this stupid indication, because we don't know what the hell's going on. Is this underpowered? Is it overpowered? Is it what? What's wrong with it? Anyway, enough of me moping on about this. I'll give you some more updates. Okay guys, it's now that time, 3:10 UK time. And something has happened. Get this thing in the tripod. That would be nice. Not as easy as the other one. Okay, so as you can see, look, the indicator has changed to 1 and then the 2. So I think the more powerful the sunlight is, the more power the lights get up to with the way that it, you know, does the sequence. I think it's technically working up to I think 50%. I'm not sure. 30 to 70% of power apparently, according to this. So who knows? I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think if it's flashing Or even better if it's like 2 and then 1 flashing. That probably means that the solar panel is very, very powerful light. Probably what it's trying to indicate. But anyway, just to confirm that, you know, it has kind of cleared up a little bit outside, which is good. But as you can see, look, the solar panel's still there. So at least it's doing something. And yeah, I'll keep you updated probably, depending on when this thing finishes. Because when this is finished, this will be on the next cycle. So I'll see you later. Right, it's becoming near night time now. It's now 20 past 8, and if you don't believe me, there we are. That's the time right there. See, I'm not lying to you. Anyway, as you can tell, it's now getting a bit dark, so it's time to take the solar panel out of the window completely. And as you can see, look, it's cut off, so it can do a little bit more extra light if it wished. I mean, look at this. Put that back outside, like that. And in a moment, it should start up again. Or maybe not. Maybe it's too much for it. So, alright. Anyway, so yeah, that's that done. But yeah, pretty impressed that it's charged it for so long, even though it's been really, really bad weather. But yeah, the solar panel is definitely waterproof. It does fare a chance for being waterproof. Shame about the wire, really. But yeah. Anyway, let's roll on the next day and see how I get on. And yeah, the scissors are still here from the other shots. Yes, I'm very messy, but this is going to be cleaned very soon. And I might even move these somewhere else because, you know, I'm cleaning tonight and I want to put my stuff on the windowsill because I haven't got much room around the room, if you know what I mean. So I might just like move them right over there or something, because the cable is long. I mean, come on, it's long enough to take it. So, you know, I'll find another place to put these because they're not really supposed to be in the window anyway. So if it was sunny, it would probably damage them. Anyway, see you tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, welcome to the 30th. And still a bit of an overcast day, but it is a bit nicer outside. And as promised, solar panel still out there. I take it in whenever it's dark, and you know, because it's pointless having it outside when there's no light, so I just put it on the windowsill, and then in the morning it starts charging anyway because the windowsill has enough light to bounce off, so it gives it enough power. Anyway, I've moved it where the entertainment centre is. As you can see, it's still frigging charging. Unbelievable, folks. Yet again, it is overcast, and I can't blame it. I mean, when it's absolutely sunny, I bet this thing charges like a Duracell battery against a really flat battery. Oh, excuse me. I haven't had enough to eat or anything, so don't worry, I'm not going to explode yet. But yeah, in the middle of doing the tag questions, actually. I'm not going to show you that because it might give it away what I'm doing. But yeah, again, this will be uploaded way after that anyway. But never mind. Anyway, so yeah, I've got the tripod there and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And the spare one now is up here. And you know, this is why I like this lantern a little bit, because it has a handle on it, which is nice. Apart from that, it's pretty slow at charging, and it also has a very, very, very bad USB on it, from what I understand. But yet again, one, it's overcast like crazy, and two, who knows if the USB will be fixed if it's fully charged. We've got to find that out. Anyway, I'm still waiting for this damn thing to charge. As you can see, look, it's there, charging away. And because it's like sunshine now and again and not sunshine, we'll see if, you know, that's enough power for it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me that looks like it's sped up a little bit since the last time I was charging. It was like charging slower. So I think the slower it charges on the two blinks, you know, it means that it's like not enough energy for it, and it's like slowly charging it. And but when it's like this, overcast with a tiny bit of sun, it's enough to give it a bit of a boost. So I don't know, I'm just guessing at this point. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. because I'm not going to show you this boring video any longer. I'm going to give you the true result at the end right now. So this is where I'm going to say goodbye to you, and probably change that battery right there. So that one right there, and you know, then hopefully we can see how it went. I mean, again, it is overcast, and I bet in the sunshine it'll be so much faster. But I'm just testing it as it is, you know, in an overcast sort of environment, because, you know, most people in the UK don't have access to sunlight because the sunlight is really, really dodgy in the UK. It either comes out or it doesn't. So you just got to be careful. Yeah, so that's it. You know, more results as they go along. Okay guys, I know this is not a very good angle of a face or whatever, but I thought I would show you something, you know, pretty interesting. Now, we're in the same clip about the lantern. I just want to show you simply what I've done so far. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting, but I've done it to see if, well, to see how long it charges for, and to see if, you know, the voltage is correct, because today I tested the lantern and again it was only 4 volts, but it managed to charge a power bank for about 1/4 before it died, and it was on like 2 bars. So I don't know what it's going to be like on 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this charge up a different way, and then I'm going to see if it's 5 volts that you get through, because you're supposed to have 5 volts when it's through USB. I'm sorry, but most appliances only work with 5.5 volts, and that's the rule with it always. So, you know, I've literally plugged this one in the wall, and I'll show you how I did it. So this is how I did it. I got one of these multi-voltage plugs where you can change from 3 to 12 volts. And normally it's connected to one of these lights right here, but I plugged it in at 4.3 volts, I believe, or something like that. I will correct it on the screen, whatever. And then I plugged it in out of shock and horror to think that that connector is the same connector as the Phillips connector. Now that spare one that I unboxed recently is right here. The other one is still on the solar panel, charging whenever there's light, which is not now because it's nighttime. But as you can see, look, it's charging, and it's charging really quickly. In fact, super quickly. So I'm guessing maybe an hour or 2 of charging, this would do pretty well. So yeah, that's pretty good that there is a way to charge it differently. But I wouldn't recommend it if you don't know what you're doing. I will put on the screen what the voltage is that you're allowed. Don't put it at 5 volts. I know the solar panel goes at 5 volts, but 4.3 is probably well enough. 3 volts is not enough. I tried 3 volts. All it did was just flash, and all that happened was the light only worked, which is good, but it's not good enough. So all I wanted to do was charge it and give it a bit of boost. So that's what I did, and it's now charging super quickly and pretty well. Don't know if this knackers the battery because it's going faster than it would with the solar panel, but it's working under like 400, 500 milliamps, so it's pretty fast. But one guy on the internet did it, and he said he got it charged in 2 hours, so this is probably going to take 2 hours. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the voltage in the morning with the camcorder, and we'll see together if it's still 5 volts. If it's, sorry, 4 volts. If it's 5 volts, then that's good. If it's 4, it's pretty lame. And we'll also, I'll give it a little test as well afterwards if it can charge a USB power bank, and I will say after the video clip probably. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So yeah, it's just a simple plug that has a voltage thing on it. They're not very cheap now, these multi-voltages, so you know your mileage may vary for your projects. But yeah, it's working and it's charging, and I do apologise about all the clutter everywhere, but I am literally sorting it out in a way. An interesting update. What was the traffic light symbol, and then I don't know what that was, but then there was the two things that look like the train crossing in symbol is now two lit and one flashing. So I'm guessing that means it's on the third part of the battery. So yeah, this is a much faster way to do the charging, and in the morning hopefully I will do a quick test. Hopefully the voltage won't go down, considering the fact that the battery will be full and on one side for probably a couple of hours. Hopefully it doesn't disturb the battery, but it did say after 3 months keep charging it, so who knows. Right, it's about the morning and we're doing, well, I'm doing some testing of the Phillips lantern, and here it is. Let me just mess with this thing here so I can get it right. There we are. So as you can see, it says 2 bars on it. This is the one I charged from the wall outlet yesterday, and as you can see, look, 3 volts and 62 amps. Now, believe it or not, this can actually go up to 1 amp, but I don't dare to because it might fry it. Fry it. Fuck, can't even speak, sorry. And yeah, I'm doing a test right now to see if the battery goes up to 1,000 like someone said, or maybe less, but I don't know. If it's 1,000, maybe it's worth your while, but I wouldn't recommend using this really, because it's literally only 3 volts and very, very bad in my opinion through the testing. But yeah, again, I don't know. I've had a lot of phones in the past that are very picky. They don't work until 5 volts is ridden and then it works, and you know, this doesn't reach 4 without a load attached. So I don't know what the fuck Philips was thinking when they made that decision of putting a crappy battery in like that only can handle up to 3 volts. It's just really shit. I mean, ampage fine, but you know, voltage, no. Anyway, it is pretty sunny outside, and this also means that the solar panel now has a lot of juice to go to, although they did say it could be overcast as well. But it's sunny, so that's nice, and it's now charging. Unfortunately I can't see a fucking thing, but it is charging right there somewhere. So yeah, more results as they go along, and I'll tell you exactly what the Philips piece of shit lantern comes as a result. So I did the first test and it reached a disappointing 690 something milliamps, but I'm going to give it another chance and charge it again just to let the battery wear in and see if that's something to do with it. But what was kind of impressive was the fact that the lantern kept going even though the USB port didn't. So that's pretty impressive, Philips. That's one good thing I can say. But it's only 3 volts to 4 volts, which is a big concern if you have a mobile phone and you're charging it, because it needs at least 5 volts or something like that if you're using USBs. So, you know, I think, you know, a big tablet would be a hassle, obviously, but the smaller tablet range I think also would be a hassle, because you charge it on this thing and it won't even last 5 seconds. So, you know, this is very old technology in my opinion, and I've already took this apart, by the way, and yeah, it does have an 1850 battery or something, and it's like 1,000, it says. It's close, 600's close, but it's not close enough. And when you think about it, you know, in this modern age, you need a lot more juice than fucking 600. So, but the great thing is the lantern kept going, and at least you had that. But, you know, at least you get a tiny bit of juice in your phone before the lantern is anything you can use. But I don't know, I'm going to run another test anyway to see how it goes. But it was pretty disappointing, but at least it did near as good as some other battery banks that I did, apart from the voltage. But apart from the voltage, it was pretty damn close. 600 is pretty damn close. It's like near 3/4 full, but still not great in my opinion. It should at least get to near 700 or 800. So I'm recharging this and see how it goes. So, what is my final conclusion of these lanterns? Well, they're a good concept. If you want to, simply survive for a power outage for about near 12 hours of light, this is your baby. Then there's the downsiders of all of this equipment. A, it takes a while to charge. It takes more than 2 days to charge the lanterns, depending if you've got overcast or non-overcast and just have like sunshine all day. If you got that, then fine, it would charge in literally no time. Another downside of this is the voltage. 3 volts is all I could measure from my handy dandy voltage tester on the USB. So there you go, 3 volts is all it was measured, and it was pretty damn weak considering, because okay, some equipment can charge on 3 volts, but then there's some other equipment that is a power hog and needs 5 volts. They also need more than an amp to at least strike up the charging indicator. So obviously it's going to be a bit of a disappointment on that front, because all I got out of the ampage was 0.64, which was 640 milliamps, which is pretty damn rough for a lantern that's supposed to be more modified. I did take one of these apart, and it is simply one damn cell, and it only goes up to 1,000. I was expecting like 2 or 3 in there, but no, it wasn't enough. It has to be one. So if you think with the size and everything that it has a big battery in it, you're more mistaken. When you take it apart, in the back there's only one little cell in there and a little board. The rest is just a skin, really, and it's just hollow. So yeah, I have mixed feelings for this. I mean, for charging it does okay with the solar panel, but if you plug it into the wall with one of those changeable voltage adapters, you'll be able to charge it in very, very fast timing. Although the solar panel did prove to be pretty amazing in my opinion, the way that it was very waterproof through our rainstorm we had yesterday, and did a good job. But the charging power is pretty lame when it's in overcast, but at least it does charge it, because not many solar panels will even touch giving power to a solar panel. But yeah, again, this is only a 5 volt to near 2 volt unit, so give it some slack. Obviously it's going to charge it because whatever power it needs, it will charge it. Now these are nice to carry, pretty good in a power outage situation, especially when you want light. Yeah, you can get that from these, but the problem is charging them up again, and that could be a bit of an issue. Good little lanterns, but the USB, it lets me down. It's literally only 3 volts to 4 volts. It's not very good at all. But there is one thing that is pretty good about it, and that is when you're solar charging your lantern, you can actually charge your equipment through the USB. Although it will slow down the charging time by a big margin, but it would still do both, which is pretty impressive. Which I found out when I plugged it in the wall, and I plugged in, say, a PSP, but it wouldn't charge, obviously, because it was only 3 volts. It needs 5, and it probably needs more than an amp. So obviously it's going to have a few disappointments. So yeah, I would agree that for the price you pay, it is pretty damn good, but then you can get better, like solar powered USB solar panels that can actually charge in sunlight, obviously, and you can actually charge your power banks probably very, very quickly, actually, because it goes probably beyond 2 amps because it's like a 20 watt solar panel. But this, I don't know, maybe it being a 3 watts or maybe a 1 watt, I think it is. Yeah, it's a 1 watt. It would have problems. Now, don't get me wrong, the cable is long, 2 meter, 3 meter, I can't remember it. Pretty damn long. Did me really good wonders when I put it in my entertainment center. But then the problem was, it had to be, because the way it was like there for a long period of time, it was really annoying. Charging up both was a painful experience. I had to do one by solar and one by the wall, because in the end it was taking so long. But again, if it was like overcast in the UK a lot, of course it's going to do it. but when it is sunny outside, it does a good job. I mean, when it's not raining and then, you know, overcast or near overcast to sunshine, it actually does charge it quicker. But then it slows down when it gets darker and darker, so, you know, fair juice. Also, another tip is I would put the solar panel indoors when it gets at least near dark, because then the solar panel is unusable to charge the lanterns, I noticed. So, a nice little concept, but for the price, I'm not disappointed. I mean, you have got a solar panel and a lantern that charges, and you know, for that price it's pretty damn good. But then, you know, the USB lets it down, and obviously that's where, you know, the price ending, because there's not much ampage coming along. For a small phone device as well, I don't think it would charge it, because the flip phone had real big trouble charging the first time I did it. And I haven't tested that theory since, but I'm guessing it would do the same, because the voltage is only 3 volts, and I believe that the phone requires 5, and it requires probably near an amp, because it's a fast charging flip phone. So yeah, disappointments where it's due, you know, but a nice little concept. But there is another version of this where you can do big lights, where you can hang them down as well, which is pretty good. I think Philips should just stick to lights and not USBs, because let's face it, if their USB is this bad, then imagine the other stuff that they make. It's probably going to be even worse, like only an amp. Was it 640 milliamps that it brings out in the USB? Now, when I did the testing through this USB voltage checker and all that, I believe it also tests out milliamps as well, I got 640 odd or 90 odd milliamps, which wasn't too bad. Although it could have been better, considering the fact that it is 1,000, not 600. But still, most of these power banks don't have that anyway, and that's really, really disappointing. But the amp ratio was only like 620 milliamps instead of an amp, so it didn't even reach an amp. So, you know, you can't like charge anything hefty with it. I did once flick the switch to 2 amps, and it did work. It actually went up to an amp, but I bet that would have really choked the battery. Overall, not a bad little unit, but it's so behind technology. I mean, the only thing that's forward in time is the actual solar panel and the way it looks. Everything else, it's just slow. Slow at charging, slow at even touching phones and stuff to charge them. The only thing I would recommend it for is probably the lantern part more than the USB part. So, is it worth it? Well, kind of. I mean, again, £4 is not to be touched at, but if you're like going to pay like 20 quid for this thing, it's not worth it. But if you're paying for it in home bargains for £4 or £5, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, you've got a lantern and a solar panel for a £5, which is not too bad. But then it's destroyed by bollocks USB, and that really lets it down, really. But again, for £5 you can't really complain. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this journey anyway. I think it is kind of worth having this for the light, but for the USB, no, it's not worth it at all. Get yourself a proper solar panel with a proper USB attached to it, then you can just, you know, easily charge all your gear in no time. I bet you even the AA battery charger I have in my backup utility box would actually not work. It would actually just not charge at all, because it does require like 5 volts, so it would struggle. And even though it's only like 600 amps that it only takes, it still would struggle really badly. So yeah, swings and roundabouts with this. But tell me below if you think this is worth it, and I say that it's not, and kind of. I mean, again, it has its concepts, and they are pretty good, and for the price, it's pretty good. But it's also pretty bad at the same time. But then you got to consider, if you're getting it for a £5, it's not bad. But if you're paying overprice for this, I feel bad for you. But if you pay overprice for it, then it's definitely not worth it. Don't bother wasting your money. And if the other one is the same, where it has the hanging down lanterns, then I'm guessing it will be probably 2 solar cells. I'm not sure. So anyway, thank you very much for my journey with the solar lanterns. I'm finally finishing the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.